Hey there, I'm Natalie McNeil, and you are watching my Superhuman Entrepreneur series on She Takes on the World TV. In this series, my team of doctors and wellness professionals are helping me and you stay healthy and achieve peak performance as you build your business. My next guest is a naturopathic doctor and specialist in IV vitamin therapy. Please welcome my friend, Dr. Benjamin Snider. Thanks so much for being here.
You're welcome, Natalie.
So I want to talk to you, first of all, about the vitamins and the minerals that we need as busy entrepreneurs. So your clients who are super busy, have long to-do lists that keep them up at night.
Yeah.
What would you say they most need that they aren't necessarily getting?
For sure. So I think the centerpiece of any conversation around stress needs to center around the adrenals. And when we look at the adrenals, this is the gland that sits down back in the low back with the kidneys, and it's responsible for bringing about our reaction to the perceived stress. And that gland needs particular nutrients to be its best. Vitamin B5, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, are some of the nutrients that concentrate most highly in the adrenals. Vitamin C concentrates very highly in the adrenals. And some of my favorite botanicals are rhodiola, ashwagandha. Holy basil is one of my most frequently prescribed adaptogenic herbs for the adrenals. So these are all herbs and supplements that help to decrease our reactivity to stress. So whether we're preparing for a 10-kilometer race, or we're sitting at home and we're worrying about a presentation or a meeting that we have the next day, it's the adrenal glands that we really need to focus in on and support. The more that we do that, the less reactive we become to these perceived stresses. So those are some of my favorites for sure.
So this is my little collection. Some of them we were looking at. And I know that this is a lot of stuff, but I just want to show people what I'm putting into my body, and for different reasons, of course. You've got the multivitamin, the omegas.
Absolutely.
Probiotic, vitamin C.
Yep.
This is the adrenal support that you were talking about. Magnesium. Magnesium changed my life. Melatonin.
Yeah.
Need that when I'm traveling. Vitamin D, digestive enzymes. I take a lot of oregano oil when I travel, and I do the B12 in the morning. So is there anything that's missing from here? And what do you think? I mean, not everyone's gonna have this whole little collection, but what are the essentials that you think busy entrepreneurs need and don't get enough of?
This is a great spectrum for sure. Rhodiola is excellent.
Rhodiola
is an excellent botanical. It helps to decrease our reactivity to stress. So when we're sitting at home and we're worrying about that presentation the next day, or the meeting we have the next day, it is lowering the output of cortisol and adrenaline that the body is going to respond with, because at that point in the day, our stress response isn't serving us, right? It's serving us in the 10-kilometer race. We need that adrenaline, we need that cortisol for performance. But when we're trying to fall asleep at night with thoughts of anxiety, we don't need that influx of adrenaline. Rhodiola helps to mitigate that release.
So is that something that you take in the evening?
You can, absolutely. Some people do find it sort of balancing and relaxing. I generally recommend to take it in the morning, away from food. Generally speaking, botanicals should be taken away from food, but it's a really good adrenal and stress support for energy and performance.
And any other ones that you think busy folks really need that you don't think they're getting enough of?
Magnesium tends to be extremely deficient in people. Magnesium and zinc are two sort of stress mitigators for the adrenals. There's a milk protein called lactium. Not a lot of people have heard of that, but it's really important in decreasing the feedback to the adrenal, so it just quiets the adrenal down.
So you're also a specialist in vitamin IV therapy. Talk to me about getting your vitamins and minerals and all this stuff you need via intravenous versus taking them this way.
For
this
sure.
is something that I like to do sometimes too.
Yeah, absolutely. So many of us have compromised digestive systems, leaky gut syndrome or small intestine bacterial overgrowth, or even low stomach acid levels that impair our body's ability to absorb these nutrients, either from a supplement or from a food. When you take in a nutrient and you infuse it into the vein, you're bypassing those deficiencies. You're bypassing the stomach, you're bypassing the digestive system, you're bypassing the liver, and you're achieving that 100% absorption at the target organ or the target cell. So yeah, it really is important, especially in bodies that are compromised digestively.
How often would you need something like a vitamin IV drip?
If you're actively treating a chief concern like headaches or fatigue or insomnia, generally we do 1 or 2 infusions per week for about 8 to 10 weeks, and then we pull back once that patients resolve their concern. If someone's coming in and they just want to optimize their health, if they can't afford to get sick, or they're looking just to stay at the top of their game, then generally 1 to 2 a month we do. But it really depends on the chief concern and what that patient's goals are.
Okay. Another concern that I always have, and that a lot of entrepreneurs have, especially when we start traveling a lot, is what do we do to take care of our bodies when we're traveling? What are those supplements that we need when we're on the road? Like, I cannot travel without melatonin and magnesium, and I especially need the oregano oil is what I'll usually take just to not get sick. I do find that it helps me to not get sick with my hectic schedule. Yeah,
absolutely. I think you could add probiotics to that too. It's a really good way of optimizing our immune system. Increasing our serum levels of vitamin C is important as well. Whenever I think travel, I think optimizing immune function, right? We don't want to run into a bacterial infection or a cold infection or a potential, parasite infection depending on where we're traveling. So taking extra vitamin C is also helpful. And then certainly, regulating our sleep-wake cycle when we're changing time zones with melatonin is really beneficial.
Yeah, so talk to me about the sleep cycles, because you and I have had this discussion before. So why is it so important to make sure that we are getting enough sleep? And then what are your tips for people to actually get that rest that they need?
The importance lies in our body's ability to integrate some emotional energy from the day. Any frustration we've experienced, any anger we've experienced, any worry or concern we've experienced gets integrated by an area of the brain called the amygdala when we sleep, or when we sleep deeply, I should say. So we need to create conditions in our evening that allow the body to get into that stage 4 sleep. And melatonin is an excellent way of doing that, for sure. One of the suggestions that I always talk to patients about is unplugging. And it's
hard to do.
It's really hard to do, and it's really important as a means of achieving that stage 4 sleep. And that means literally unplugging, literally turning off your Wi-Fi, putting away your devices and allowing your body to get quiet. So,
what other actionable advice do you have for our busy entrepreneurial viewers? So we always try to give people these action steps and things that they can implement in their lives quite simply without making massive changes. So what would those actionables and next steps be?
Yeah, there's so many things that we can do to sort of optimize our wellness through the day. One of the most important things that I find with patients, and we try to do early on in our work together, is develop a steadiness, develop a calmness of mind, an equanimity, an ability to stay on-reactive or non-reactive rather to stressors in our life.
How do you do that though?
Yeah, and that involves work, either like enrolling in a 10-day Vipassana retreat, or even finding a local mindfulness workshop is profoundly beneficial in protecting the adrenals. And
so you're talking about meditation, breath work.
Yeah, an ability to become unattached to the things that our big successes and not too averse to our big losses. I think.
Okay, I want to zoom in on that for a second because
Yeah.
I think that's going to resonate with people. So unattaching to those high highs and those low lows that I think a lot of entrepreneurs experience.
Yeah, absolutely. When we were talking earlier about the adrenals kicking on to worry and concern, it's kicking on to a reaction that our minds are having to that perceived threat, and to foster a steadiness of mind is a way of allowing the adrenal to stay off and to stay quiet and to stay supported.
So what I'm hearing is that the mind has such a profound impact on our physical body,
Absolutely.
on our health.
Yeah.
The health of our organs, our whole body.
Yeah.
It's affected by the mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and it ties in very closely to how the adrenals are pumping out cortisol. So we need to do everything that we can, whether it's through IV therapy or meditation or food, to protect that stress response.
Are there any other final health tweaks that people can make that you think will make a really big difference for them?
Yeah, absolutely, Natalie. So I think one of the things that becomes a massive obstacle to productivity through the day is low blood sugar. And I see this a lot with patients. Their blood sugar crashes, their glucose drops, and they become more agitated, more distracted. Their energy drops. They feel like they need to nap, but they can't stay on task. And it's really important to be cautious and mindful about sugar consumption, refined grains, and just the frequent introduction of protein-dense snacks through the day to protect.
What are your
adrenals
favorite protein-dense snacks?
Vega has an excellent protein bar. I do a quinoa salad in the middle of the afternoon, which is great. So those are two things. Grab a protein bar that you enjoy, and add in some quinoa, and you're going a long way towards protecting those adrenals from becoming overstimulated or overactivated.
That's great advice, and I just want to thank you for being here and being my guest on the Superhuman Entrepreneur series. And I want to thank all of you for watching this series. And remember that you can get action steps and worksheets available exclusively to our subscribers by heading on over to shetakesontheworld.com and subscribing there. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. I hope you liked the episode of She Takes on the World TV you just watched. And if you did, I would love to invite you to take my free 14-day Conquer course to turn your small business into something big. Come on over to shetakesontheworld.com/conquer course to sign up.